This episode is sponsored by Celestron, manufacturer of high-quality telescopes and an industry leader in developing exciting optical products with revolutionary technologies.
I'm Kelly Beatty of Sky and Telescope magazine, and tonight we're going on a tour of the stars and planets that you'll see overhead during August. First, we'll find a seat for some great shooting stars, figure out where and when to see the moon, watch Saturn climb into the eastern sky, tour the stars of summer, and start watching for a once-in-your-lifetime star blast. Are you ready for all that? Then grab your curiosity and come along on this month's Sky Tour. Let's start with the Perseid meteor shower, one of the two best displays of shooting stars all year. These meteors are caused when little bits of grit, shed by a comet called Swift-Tuttle, slam into our atmosphere at 37 miles per second. Every August, like clockwork, we cross this comet's orbit and plow right through all that dusty debris. Even casual sky watchers know about the Perseid meteor shower, because it can deliver at least one meteor per minute under pleasant summer skies. Stay out long enough, in a place that's dark enough, and you could easily witness 100 meteors in a single night. But the shower's peak performance is relatively brief, so timing is important. For North Americans, this year the shower's maximum is predicted for the morning hours of Monday, August 12th. Bummer! The sun's already up by then. So that means you'll get the very best views if you get outside well before dawn that morning, say 3 or 4 a.m. Too early for you? Okay, then either head out Sunday night, August 11th, or wait until nightfall on August 12th. On both evenings, you'll have a first quarter moon to contend with. That's not too big a distraction, really, and it'll set before midnight. You don't need any special equipment to enjoy the Perseids. But before you head out, grab a folding chair or one of those reclining loungers so that you can lean back and look up without getting a sore neck. Take a long-sleeve shirt or a light blanket, too, in case it gets cool or to fend off insects. And find a spot that's away from bright lights, with a clear view all around the horizon. We call this shower the Perseids because the meteors all seem to radiate across the sky from the direction of the constellation Perseus, which is low in the northeast as evening twilight ends. This apparent point of origin, called the radiant, is actually just a trick of perspective, because the meteors themselves can appear anywhere in the sky. Now, the higher the radiant is, the more meteors you'll see. So, theoretically, you'll get the best display in the hour just before dawn twilight, when Perseus stands nearly overhead in the sky. We're talking 4 a.m. here, again on the morning of Sunday the 12th. But you don't need to stay out so late or get up so early. This shower can be enjoyed as soon as its radiant clears the horizon by roughly 8 p.m. So here are some pro tips. First, soon after the radiant rises, keep an eye out for fireballs that skim Earth's atmosphere, creating long dramatic streaks in the sky. Second, more than most showers, the Perseids produce many bright meteors, visible even when moonlight is strong. Third, if it's cloudy, you can expect to see at least a few of these shooting stars for a few days before and after the 12th. And fourth, you don't need to look at the radiant to spot the Perseids. The best direction to watch is wherever your sky is darkest, and that's usually straight up, or anywhere that blocks the moon from view. Speaking of the moon, this month its cycle of phases is a very close match to the calendar. New moon is on August 4th. Followed by first quarter on the 12th, when the Perseids peak. Full moon falls on the 19th, and it's known as the full sturgeon moon, named after a freshwater fish that's found in lakes and rivers in North America. But it's also known as the barley moon, grain moon, or fruit moon. Finally, the last or third quarter moon comes on the morning of the 26th. Then that orb returns to the evening sky in the days after we flip the calendar to September, as a lovely crescent. For planet watchers, these past few months have been rather bleak, unless you're in the habit of being up well before dawn. Now, I don't expect you to make a habit of that, but you should drag yourself outside early on Wednesday, August 14th. Look toward the east, and you'll easily spot brilliant Jupiter, the king of planets. But wait, what's the tiny blip just above it? It's so close that you'd easily overlook it. That, my friends, is Mars, and these two planets will be less than a half a degree apart. Even though it's nearly 4 times farther away from us than Mars, Jupiter is the top dog here, 16 times brighter than the red planet. The view of this by eye will be extra special. Jupiter and Mars are currently nestled between the starry horns of Taurus, the bull, and not far from both the Pleiades and Hyades star clusters. Of course, this planet pairing will also look great through binoculars and even better through a telescope if you have one. Now over in the evening sky, 2 other planets are emerging into view. Venus is climbing very slowly low in the west, but it'll be challenging to spot. This evening star will continue to set during twilight until mid-October, and only then will it finally get high enough in the sky to spot easily. The other new arrival is Saturn. It doesn't reach opposition, the point in the sky opposite the Sun, until early next month. But it rises in the east by about 9 p.m. in early August, and in late twilight, roughly 7 p.m. by month's end. It's brighter than any of the other stars around it, so you shouldn't have much trouble picking it out. Let's check out some of the stars you'll see on these balmy summer evenings. As it starts to get dark, look well above where the sun set and you'll easily spot Arcturus, the 3rd brightest star in the entire nighttime sky and the brightest star visible on summer evenings for us north of the equator. It's the alpha star in the constellation Boötes, the plowman, derived from the Greek words for to plow and ox. Look to the right of Arcturus so that you're facing roughly north. Once it starts to get really dark, you'll see the Big Dipper hanging from its handle about halfway up. At the end of the handle are 4 stars forming its bowl. You'll find that your outstretched fist just covers the bowl. Now, draw an imaginary line through the bottom pair of stars and follow it toward upper right, past the lip of the bowl, by about 3 fists until you reach a medium bright star. That's the North Star, called Polaris, and it shows your direction toward due north. Now, go back to Arcturus, and this time slide your gaze well to the left and lower down, until a little to the west of due south you reach Antares, the heart of the constellation Scorpius. Antares means the rival of Mars, and you should be able to notice that this star, like the planet, is slightly reddish. It's an enormous red supergiant star about 550 light-years away. A slightly gibbous moon will pass very near Arcturus on the evening of August 14th, and they'll be really close together as seen from the west coast that evening. Let's try to make out the Scorpion's shape. Look to the right of Antares for a trio of stars in a nearly vertical row. Those mark the Scorpion's head. Now sweep your gaze a little farther to the right for a pair of somewhat dimmer stars separated vertically by about 1 fist. The lower one is called Zubenel-Genubi, the alpha star in the constellation Libra. The one higher up is Zubenel-Shamali. These 2 stars traditionally mark the Scorpion's pincers. In fact, their tongue-twisting Arabic names translate roughly as the Northern Claw and the Southern Claw. Now go back to Antares and look for a chain of fainter stars that trail down to its lower left and then hook upward at the end with 2 stars very close together. That's the critter's long tail and stinger. For those of us in the northern hemisphere, the closer you live to the equator, the higher up you'll see the Scorpion in the sky. If you're in southern states like Texas or Florida, you'll have much better views than I do way up here in Massachusetts. Now shift your gaze due left of Antares, staying about the same height above the horizon, and look for a group of 8 medium bright stars in the shape of a teapot. The handle is on the left, and the spout, tipped down a bit, is on the right. Got it? The whole thing is about the size of your clenched fist. From northern U.S. states and Europe, the teapot is only a little bit above the horizon, so it helps if you look from a spot with a clear, unobstructed view towards south. Now, when astronomers carved up the sky, they didn't call this the Teapot constellation. Instead, you've found the main stars of Sagittarius, the Archer, and you're looking toward the center of our home galaxy, the Milky Way. If you're lucky enough to live where the sky is really dark, or if you happen to be on vacation in a rural setting, you'll see puffs of steam coming up from that spout. Those puffs are the countless stars of the Milky Way, which continue upward until they arch overhead and clear across the sky. And if you're unlucky enough to live where light pollution is rampant, which sadly is for most of us, you can't see the Milky Way at all. In fact, ask yourself, have you ever seen the Milky Way in all its glory? If not, you really owe it to yourself to get out under a clear, deep black sky this time of year to see all those stars streaming across the sky like a great river of light. It's a sight you won't soon forget. For our last target, I want you to head back to Arcturus over in the west on these August evenings. Look 2 fists higher up and a little to the left. If your skies are dark, you'll see a set of stars about a half a fist across that trace out the letter U, or maybe you'll see them as a cup without a handle. This is the constellation Corona Borealis, the northern crown. Only one of its 7 stars is very bright, and it's called Alphecca, which is Arabic for the bright star in the broken ring. Now, during August, I want you to keep an eye on that arc of stars, or at least watch just to the left of Alphecca. That's where astronomers are awaiting the appearance of a bright nova, or erupting star, sometime in the next couple of months. It's designated T, and alphabetic letters like that are celestial shorthand for a star that varies in brightness. This one is known to skywatchers as T Coronae Borealis, or T Cor-Bor for short. It's about 2,600 light-years away, and ordinarily this star is much too faint to be seen by eye. But every 80 years it erupts spectacularly, becoming a couple of thousand times brighter in just a few hours. At its peak, it'll roughly match the brightness of Alphecca nearby. This abrupt brightening has earned it the nickname Blaze Star. I'll give you more background about this long-awaited eruption next month, but for now, make it a habit to look 2 fists above Arcturus every chance you get. You might be rewarded with the sight of a new star, or nova, that hadn't been there the night before. Thanks for letting me expand your celestial horizons for another month. If you want more tips for viewing the night sky, including a free interactive star chart for any time or date, check out our website, skyandtelescope.org. If you haven't already subscribed, you can find Sky Tour on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you listen. And if you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating or a review. It'll help spread the word about Sky Tour, and of course, I welcome your feedback. And if you want to explore the solar system and universe more deeply, check out the full line of binoculars and telescopes available at Celestron.com. Sky Tour is a production of Sky and Telescope, a division of the American Astronomical Society, and is produced by me, Kelly Beatty. Next month, we'll go exploring in and around the Summer Triangle. Until then, I wish you clear skies.